I'm assuming that it records to the cloud. It gave me an option to do that or to my local computer. So I'm assuming it goes right to the cloud.
Probably so.
Well, there's an option.
Right.
There's an option, and I personally always put it on my own computer because
Oh, you do?
minutes. And I would suggest that the NAT ought to record it to her computer as well. She has to ask you permission. She has to ask whoever's on the meeting for permission, but she can record it because it's just a heck of a good way to write minutes.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing all this year. And then usually Clark just sends me the link after a day or two. I guess it takes some time out on the cloud to kind of download and be ready. And a day or so later, I usually get that. Oh, you got to pay attention here. I got some people in the waiting room. Daryl and Nat. There we go. Well, I guess Christine's going to carry on my tradition of being late. Now 4:01.
So Brian, can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I jumped in today because I have volunteered to be on a committee next term. So
Yes.
I don't know that I really need to be here right now.
Well, that's you're welcome to join us. And I don't know if this was something you discussed with Christine.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I wasn't sure. So I jumped in because I didn't want to not show up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I need to speak with Kimberly.
Oh, perfect. She's right here.
Get together with Kimberly, so I know what I signed up for. So can we do that next week sometime?
You got it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maybe even a Saturday.
I can do that too.
Whatever's good. Please just let me know when you're available, okay?
You got it. Next Tuesday, I'm teaching a law review, but outside of that, I'm fairly open. I'll be in Roseville a lot though, because my new location there seems to be, it just doesn't run as easily.
Yeah, it's okay. Just give me a date. A Tuesday is also not good for me, so that's okay. But let me know before I make a full commitment that I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yes, ma'am.
You can handle it, Carol.
You're gonna do
You're
better
already
than me,
in, Carol. You're already in.
I know. I just want to make sure, so.
Once you sign up, Carol, that's it.
I know, I'm doomed. Huh? My foot is nailed to the floor.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
So,
But you got a lot of good people on your committee, so.
I know. I know that. I know that. But
You're not Jerry. You're Karen.
Yeah, I'm going to rename myself.
But yeah, Kimberly, call me please and give me a time.
You got it.
Because I can leave the office different times. Okay.
Okay.
Or if Saturday works, that's good too. Or a Sunday. I don't care.
Saturday, I could probably do Saturday this afternoon later in the afternoon, I think. I'll call you because I'm waiting on my new refrigerator to get there, hopefully.
Yeah, do that. I have something in the morning just at my house, but yeah, I'll be free in the afternoon. That'd be perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a wonderful meeting. I'm sure
thanks.
we'll be in there too. Okay.
And
thank you.
And Carol, just so you're aware, any member is always welcome to join any of the board meetings.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I will get on. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Bye, Carol.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and get started? We do have 6 of the 11 board members present. I just got a text from Christine. She's running a little late. And I know Clark's running a little bit late as well. But we can go ahead and get started. It is 4:04. I was telling Claire I had to make sure I was I'm actually was on Lombardi time today, which is if you're 5 minutes, unless you're 5 minutes early, you're late. So I was actually on time today. I caught enough flack last night. I knew I had to make sure to be on time. All right. So why don't we go ahead and call the meeting to order? I sent out the minutes. Typically, I send them out and give you at least 3 or 4 days. Today, I gave you maybe 8 hours. So has everyone had a chance to review those minutes?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any questions about the minutes or any discussion on it?
I move approval.
Second.
All right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Nope. All right, the minutes are in the books.
Hey, Brian,
Yeah,
before we go to the next agenda item, can I interrupt a bit? Because
Sure.
I mainly showed up at this meeting to make sure that there was a quorum, but I was also interested in whether you would be on time, so. But you have a quorum without me, and you have 2 more coming. So I just wanted,
actually, we don't have a quorum without you.
yes, you do. You have 5 out of 11. No, we don't.
Mm-mm.
Six hours.
Okay, I'm here till you get one.
You have to
Yeah.
put up with us until somebody else.
Yeah,
gets here,
yeah.
Daryl.
Hang on a
Hey,
few more
by the way,
minutes.
you did a really good job last night.
Yes,
Oh, thanks. I hope everybody had fun.
Yeah. you
I had
did
a great
job.
time. Yep.
Super evening.
I'm noticing my hair is a little out of place, excuse me. So yes, I had a great time. I was really kind of on a high the whole night. I got home and it took me a while to be able to settle down and fall asleep. I was just really taken by the time and the effort and all the thought that went into it and all the work. So very nice.
Well, the Marine Corps hymn gets everything started off with.
Yeah, it definitely never entered my mind that would be a part of it at all,
And
really.
Kimberly's skit that she was a mastermind behind was delightful. Claire had it all
Yeah.
set up and a birthday cake and away we went. We missed
Yes.
that lady Barbara Baptiste though.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Barbara.
You're on
You're on mute, just so you're aware.
I would not
He's
have
on
missed
mute.
it, but it was my grandson graduated from NYU and we had to move him from New York.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Yeah, but
That
I
was-
had plans to be there, but you know how those things go.
Yes,
But I wish you
absolutely.
well and applaud you for leading us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so we got the minutes covered. So the financials, and I'm not sure, I never really use this, so I'm not sure how to pull up the financials. Do we need to pull them up? Let me ask that. We can probably save some time if we don't. So I'll go through the club financials and then we'll have John do the properties and foundation since Graziella's on vacation. So on the club financials, and I know she sent these out, I think it was over the weekend, maybe earlier. But on the club financials, on page 2, the statement of financial position, total cash in the bank is $33,886.18. We have prepaid expenses of $2,302.86, which 1,000 of that is Cuvée. We've got a credit for them next time we do the Wine Fest. And then $200 of that is a deposit at Women's Club.
Oh, the keys.
And then some other smaller expenses in there. On page 3 on the budget performance, our income is $14,304.75 versus a budget of $37,519. So we know we're under budget. Really, I don't even need to cover the budget page because that thing was blown out of the water this year. On page 4, our P&L for prior year comparison, our income, let me get to the right page here. Our income is $912 of income. And then we had an expense of $2,393. Our net income is negative $3.02. No, that's right. No, net other income. And then we've got a net income for May of negative $1,484.02. So our change from last year we were negative $934. So we're negative $549 more this year than last year for the month of May. And then our accounts receivable, and this is typically where we've had our discussion. We've got a total outstanding of $1,020. And there are 2 places that make up the bulk of this. Father Bill has 432 in arrears. And as we've been talking for the past 3 months about this, Father Bill, when I approached him about 3 months ago, was unaware of this. So we sent him the documentation on it. And when I followed up with him like a month later, I never heard back from him. Then I followed up with him earlier this month and sent him the email again. And he still, what he did was he came back with, you know, how about if I pay you $168 and we call it even? So one of the things we've been discussing with the board is the potential of writing this off. So he owes 432 and says he'd send us 168. That would mean we'd write off 264.
I make a motion that we write the whole thing off, be done with it.
Yeah. Do I have a second on that? I'll second it because I know we've gone through this a number of times. And
Does that make him eligible to go on to another club or it doesn't, does it?
It would. If we write it off, then there's no impact to him. We take the financial hit, but he's able to move. He's actually been with another club for several months. I don't know how they have him on the books. I don't think technically they do because he's still in our membership and we can't transfer him until that balance is at 0.
He had trouble making the financial commitment when he was with the club, as I recall.
Yeah. I know I don't know the details back then, but I remember there always seemed to be some issues and I don't know what they were.
I think a member of his church paid his dues, and so
Yeah, that's right.
if they got behind, was that? So
Okay.
I agree. We should just write it off. So I call a vote.
Okay. So Daryl first had the motion. I second it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
One abstention, I have no idea of what.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And technically you're not on the board.
No, I
yet,
don't want you to
so-
go back because I know, no. Why I'm abstaining is not personal. It's just, I have no idea and I can't vote.
Okay, all right. Okay, then we'll do that. There are 2 other people we had questions about over the last couple months. The second one is Karen Russell. And she's technically on leave of absence. She doesn't owe us anything. But I did contact her twice. One time while I was calling her, she texted me and said, I'm on a call, I'll call you. Didn't hear back from her. I called her again and left another message explaining what we've got to do. Our question to her was, did she want to remain in the club? Because if not, we want to take her off the books by the first of the year so we don't get the district and international charges. But she didn't respond either time about to that question. She doesn't owe us anything at this point, but starting July 1st, we'll be billed for her and we will be billing her as well. We just bill her the dues when she's on leave of absence is what I understand. So we wouldn't have, well, the dues, the international and district dues. I don't think we bill her anything for the quarter while she's on leave of absence. Anyone have any comment on that?
Brian, how much are the dues for international?
We're talking about, well, it hasn't been set yet, but typically it's been somewhere around $168.
Okay,
So I guess what I'm saying there is the potential could be if she turns around and says, no, I don't want to be on, we could end up eating that 168. That's kind of our exposure, I think, at this point. Okay.
I
So-
talked to her the other day.
Okay.
And she, not about this, but she said, I was with her for some other reason. And then she said, you know, I'm really getting, I asked her if she was coming to the thing last night. And she said, no, she said, I'm hesitating about whether I should stay with Rotary. She said, I'm so overwhelmed with my work that I can't do what I feel like I need to do to be a good Rotarian. And I understand that she is up to her neck in work right now, and it goes on like that, but you know, a lot of people are. So, but she didn't make a commitment one way or the other. So, I mean, I can talk to her if you want me to tell her we need a commitment. I'm going to see her tonight, probably face to face. So if you want me to, I can say something.
Yeah, look, if you wouldn't mind, because I haven't had any luck getting her to call me back or to answer that question one way or another. And I would say there's no hard feelings in any of this. If she decides, you know, that she needs to leave the organization, you know, even for a little while. But what I wouldn't want is for her to not answer it and then we take the hit on the billing.
Yeah.
And then have to eat it later. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, do that.
I will do that. Okay.
You can always come back in, and if we don't get an affirmative before the deadline, I'd say that she's removed from the rolls just to protect her.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Have we already passed the deadline as to when? I always thought it was the end of May that we had to clean our rolls up, that they're now letting you clean it up till the end of June.
Yeah, and I just got an email specific to that. It said on the 1st is when we actually can do it on the 1st. I don't want to wait till the 1st, but we could do it on the 1st, and then they'll take the snapshot and bill us.
Okay.
Okay. So if Claire's going to talk with her tonight, we should be able to, over the next couple of days, you know, pull the trigger one way or another.
Okay.
All right. And then the final person is Anna Roa.
Anna, and I've been working with her. She lost her job and she's looking for a job. It's not like she's not looking, but even though people are hiring in certain areas, I guess waitressing and things like that, that's not her thing. I mean, you know, I guess she could do it, but she really, I mean, like last night she was there. She was excited about being able to be there, and you know, she paid for her ticket. I mean, you know, it wasn't like, so I don't know. I know she wants to stay with Rotary, but she just can't afford the fees right now. So I don't know whether we should.
Well, and so we're
sort of the same way.
Yeah, the problem I have is, you know, she's 120 in arrears.
Yeah,
which is really 4 quarters, because we billed, what, $30 a quarter this past year.
yeah,
And it sounds like her scenario may not improve in the short term. And for us to bill her 168 and then any other quarterly, the actual quarterly dues for us.
he's not gonna be able to afford it.
Before, yeah, at 168 a quarter, that'll rack up pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I think based on where we're at, I think, I would probably make a motion that we remove her from the rolls. Any thoughts otherwise?
I'll stick in my comments here. Many of you may know that I used to support Anna. because
Yes, yeah.
years back, she really wanted to support Rotary, and she did. But over the past couple of years, she has not been involved at all in Rotary. She has the theater, and she runs the food drive for her church, but there's no contribution at all to Rotary. So I'm not going to support her anymore.
Okay.
I was
Well-
seconding your motion, Brian. She committed to some things for me on fundraisers, and then I'd call her and she'd say yeah, and then she never carried through. So
Yeah.
I couldn't depend upon her when she volunteered to do things, which is sad, because I know she has a big heart. So I second your motion to remove her.
Okay, yeah, on that note, really, the only time I've seen her hasn't been in any meetings since way before our Zoom meetings. And I've only seen her a couple times at some of our more social functions.
Yeah. I would make one comment.
Yeah.
She put together a super Facebook posting today about your
Yeah, she did.
about 50 pictures, and nobody else did that.
Wow.
So if she would commit and do, social media for the club, she can really contribute. And she used to do that a lot for the chamber events.
Yeah.
She likes to get out and about town. And if she did that for everything we did Rotary, she would have a positive contribution.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because I know she loves to take photos, and I know she's on social media, but that ultimately means we're paying her away, and it's really just it's hot and cold, I guess is what I'm saying. She's there one time, take some photos, and post them, but we don't have the consistency, which is what we'd be paying for if we covered her fees. I really hate to pull the plug on anyone unless they say, I don't want to be part of this anymore. I still have the motion out there. Karen, you still want to hold on to that second? I can't hear you. I missed you.
Yes, we can vote on it.
Okay. All right. All in favor of removing Anna from the rolls? Okay. Yeah, it's tough. All right.
Maybe there needs to be a further conversation with her. I don't know, Art, whether you'd want to do that, or whoever's going to be membership or such. If she made a commitment to social, I'd even help subsidize her dues and such, because she is very positive. She's around town a lot. But yeah, we pointed out the negatives, and I don't remember that she's ever brought a member, but I'm sitting here thinking of Carol Feinstein that never does anything for the club. And the reason we keep her at all is because she's runs the local newspaper. We want to stay on the good side of that. So Carol has the money to stay in, and Anna doesn't have the money to stay in. So creates kind of a dichotomy.
Okay, so how many opposed then? At this
I'm
point?
opposed. I'm opposed.
Why don't we hold on and, who's willing to talk to her? Are you, Claire, or?
Yeah,
I'll talk.
I will talk to her.
Oh,
Oh, Art,
Is there a Potters game tonight?
yes, there is.
Yeah, she'll be there, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So if you talk to her and basically tell her what the situation is.
yeah, I will.
You know,
Yeah,
if she'd commit to doing all of the, coming to all of our activities and promoting on Facebook, I think that would be really good. And maybe on some other platforms that are around Lincoln. And then we could probably ask several people to help support her, like Daryl's volunteered. And,
okay,
but, you know, she pushes herself really thin in so many different organizations, and that's the concern. Okay,
okay, then we'll hold off on that. And so we've got 2 outstanding here, and we've got basically 7 days, 6 days to clear that up.
I'll try and do it tonight.
Okay, all right.
And I'll be glad to work with her. I like her spirit. And
Oh, yeah,
yeah, so I would volunteer to engage her, you know, with the new things I'm doing as well. You know,
okay. All right,
Sure, the big engagement, who's gonna pay the dues, as well as her commitment to really do something for us.
mhm.
So you can get that, but I think, you know, I'm willing to pick in some of her dues.
Could sure use the PR.
yeah, I'd love to keep both her and Karen Russell on, but again, I don't want to rack up more debt
No.
against them.
And they need to know that there's a deadline. So, because I've talked to Anna twice and you've talked to Karen a couple of times, and then I just talked to Karen, but not for that reason.
Okay,
So I'll try and talk to both of them tonight. And if
And
not, I'll
Karen's-
call them tomorrow.
Karen's still
Okay.
working 2 jobs. Is that right, Claire? You know,
I think so. I think she's at Starbucks and
she
she's.
started at 4:30.
Yeah, Kim, maybe you know, she's still at Starbucks.
She is, and with Relay taking the hit that they took, they actually have decreased their staffing and increased her responsibility.
Yeah, wow.
So she has, I think she's got everything from like Santa Rosa down.
Oh,
Like, so
Wow.
she's in charge of a
Starbucks?
lot of relays.
In Starbucks or the cancer?
The relay, the cancer.
Yeah, okay.
She's at the Starbucks over there by Safeway the last time I saw her, and that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
yeah.
tough
All right.
financial time.
okay. All right,
Okay.
then that motion has been squashed. Okay, and then anything else on the financials? Anyone have a motion? I guess I can do that since I didn't do since I just covered it.
Ryan. I
Move to
Okay.
accept financials.
Okay, so we got Daryl and Claire, all in favor?
hi.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Well, that was easier. All right, all right. Well, it's always tough when it's, you know, about an individual. Okay, thank you for that. John, if you wouldn't mind taking us through foundation?
You bet. Lincoln Rotary Club Foundation, financial report for the 11 months ended May. And this is really kind of an overview because it's approved by the foundation board. Total cash in the bank, $47,332. Restricted funds total, $113,232. Unrestricted funds total, $36,391. Accrued expenses, this is City of Lincoln, Youth Services, Rec 2 Go, $13,500. deferred revenue. This has been with us for a long while here. Tour to Lincoln, $6,344. And the P and L, we have income of 51,682. Expense of 53,042. Other income of 20,877. And it's a positive net income for the foundation for 11 months ended 19,517. And I think that concludes the overview.
So the other thing that we would typically would look at, so the donations and fundraisers section, which is page 9, if you have the document.
I do.
One of the things that we're missing on that page is a total. So typically, what we started doing was, having the donations and fundraisers, having all those columns like you have on here, but then to the right, having a total, so we could see, for the year, how much.
You're missing that?
brought in. Yeah,
I don't have that page, so I'm gonna have to,
okay.
I'll get that printed. We'll email it.
Yeah, just something, it doesn't have to be done for this one. Well, these are approved at a different, in a different board. So, but just, it gives us the total
Sure.
for all of those fundraiser items.
Right.
And then on page 11 of the report, it has programs, and the same thing typically would have a total for all the programs. And there's one here, but it doesn't seem to add up.
Okay.
And so I think it's grabbing some other columns as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just review that one,
Let
because
me-
then that way, when you look at it, you can say, okay, what have we done in fundraising and donations? Here's how much we are year to date. How much have we spent?
Yeah, that's good.
And yeah,
The P and L effect is what you're really.
yeah.
Sure.
And that's all I had on that one.
Good, thank you.
Great. Thank you, John. Okay. And if no questions on the foundation financials, if John, if you wouldn't mind taking properties as well.
You bet. Okay, the LRC Properties Inc., again, for the same period of time, 11 months ended May. Financial overview. Total cash in the bank, 23,034. Intercompany receivable, 15,761. Primarily the net stock check from DART. That's 14,861 of that total. Prepaid expenses, 7,442. Fixed assets, buildings, land, heat pump, 1,662,585. Accrued expenses, property insurance, 300. The line of credit, 34,420. Accounting services, 250, for a total of 34,970. And the P&L for properties, again, for 11 months ended, income of 84,239, expense of 98,336. Net other income is negative 2121. And we have a net loss for properties for the 9 months ended period of 16,219.
Question for you, John. Didn't RCL put the line of credit payoff in May in those financials?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's not been paid. I don't understand how it ends up in financials when it hasn't been paid. It can be a known
well-
liability, but it's not an expense of that month. It won't be an expense until we pay it.
I think what she's done is we have made the commitment to pay it. So she's essentially created an accounts payable
Yes,
and taken the expense. You know, it's our great system of accounting, not on a cash basis.
Yeah, it's accrual.
No, I think she's booked it as a liability.
Right.
yes, she has. It's
Yeah.
it's a payable.
Yeah. And
We know we owe it. We're gonna pay it.
Yeah, but it shows us 16,000 negative and we're not. We will be once we pay it. That's the way my mind thinks. I'm sorry. And I know the accrual
It's okay.
system too, but I dispute that way of accounting on that particular thing until we, okay, I'll be quiet on it.
I know there's a big discussion about cash versus accrual, but I guess it's good to know what our liabilities are.
And we will pay it, I'm guessing, in the month of July. So, you know, it's,
Hopefully maybe in the month of June, so. It'd be nice to have it in this year so that we don't have a bullet like that next year that distorts our financials that much. Okay, I'm through with it.
okay. I'm through as well. That concludes.
All right.
this work.
any questions for John on the properties financials? No? Okay, then we will move on. And welcome, Christine. All right, a couple of quick, I don't see Clark still not here. We'll jump into some committee reports and we'll start with Karen, if you don't mind.
The only thing I have to report is that we're still working on a date for the night at the races. The community center doesn't work out because they won't serve
No booze.
alcohol and no kitchen facilities.
Yeah.
Clara's going to look into booking.
I have calls into both those places, Karen. I was gonna tell you that. I just haven't gotten returns yet. So I
Okay.
talked to one of them the other day and I called it at the Parks and Rec today and left a message. So they usually call back the next day. So
Yeah. And what did Frank say about how close the church is to getting to decide what they're going to?
they got the price, and then I guess there was a discussion over that because they were gonna charge the Knights of Columbus, which raises all the money, and 4 huge big fundraisers every year. They're gonna charge them an exorbitant amount of money. And so they were discussing that, but quite honestly, I only want to get our name on the list so that
Yeah.
we can always say no once they make the
Yeah,
final
that's right.
decision of food.
Right.
So
And
I'm
Claire,
yeah.
too, just so you know, so Park and Rec, we've been dealing with 4th of July
Yeah.
and also the theater rental issue. So
Yeah.
we've been a little underwater on the Park and Rec side too.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll get
She's
back. to you.
pretty good about calling back. though.
Denise
Why-
is
she
good.
called me-
She'll get back to
Yeah.
you. We've just
Yeah,
been,
she will. At least we'll
working
get a
through a lot of
date. I was
issues.
looking for a Friday, I think, instead of a Saturday, because Friday's cheaper to rent it. So,
Yeah, so we're working, as you can see, on a date for night at the races, and that's basically all we're working on right now on the fundraisers.
Sounds good. All right, and I know Jerry is starting to move forward again on some things with Tour de Lincoln, since we're just months out from that.
Yeah, he's probably spent 20-25 hours on it this week.
What?
I said he's spent about 20-25 hours on it this week.
That was no, that concerned me because
Yeah.
July 1, I'm starting to help him with that and take that over.
welcome, Brian.
He's willing to help you with various things, but I'll tell you, your second year, he's not going to be here. We just booked a Canadian rail trip during the thing. The other thing,
Brian's wishing right now that he's taking on a senior
I'm gonna call them and tell them you canceled it.
yeah. The other thing I want to say, Brian, is that you and he need to discuss probably within the next week of maybe changing the date of the 2022 date because he told me that the Sacramento big a bicycle thing that is sponsored by the Rotary of Sacramento.
Oh, the Sac Century?
Yeah, the next century is
Same weekend.
the same weekend. And so you
Oh.
might want to move it a weekend or two later. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be smart.
yeah, you guys need to commit to that and do that right away so that we get it on the calendar like that.
Yeah, because normally they do theirs earlier in October, so, but, okay, yeah,
Well,
I
they
know
do
he
it
and I,
on- But he had set the date for October 3rd as the
Oh,
date
okay.
for the following of 2022. So you need to move it to like the 20th
Okay.
or something like that. So you guys
okay,
do it since that'll be your first full-fledged year of being in
yeah.
charge.
Yeah, he and I spoke a little last night, and we're gonna get started here in the coming week. I told him I need, yeah, I committed to Aaron, I would have some more family time, but it sounds like I'm gonna have less.
Well,
That's what I said. You might be wishing you just stayed on another year as president.
Yeah. All right,
I don't know if you're an early riser, but Jerry does a lot of that stuff at 5:30 in the morning.
yeah, and for me, that works well, because that's when I can get a lot of this out of the way, because I got a day job too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, okay, I'll be in touch with Jerry and
yeah,
get that stuff going. Thank you.
yeah. And you
right.
have other people on your committee and they will commit to doing a bunch of other stuff for you. too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't have sleepless nights.
It sounds like I may have to. All right, thank you, Karen. Nothing from Shanti, she's not here. Chris, because of the Potters game, she did mention she wouldn't be here. Kimberly, community service.
We have it pretty quiet right now that we got the tables in, so pass it on to Carol, hopefully. It sounds, once I get her in there, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I am passing on to Carol Orlando in preparation to hopefully live up to your guys' expectations next year.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. Christine Carroll was here a little earlier when we started, and
Awesome.
they're gonna get together here to
Saturday.
kind of talk through and get that transition ready, it sounds like. Okay, thank you, Kimberly. John, any updates for our foundation?
Yeah, just briefly, Brian, our two new trustees were elected to the board for next year, Bill Lawrenson and yourself. And we elected, there's carryover board members, of course, and elected officers for next year. And the investment committee was also elected for next year.
Yeah, remind me who that is again.
Jerry is the chair of the investment
Okay.
committee. And Bill Lobby and myself.
Okay, great, sounds good. Thank you.
And then the officers, myself, Jerry, Frema, and Graziella. And we've got a long list of trustees. John, Bill, Jerry, Frema, Clark, Graziella, Ryan, Bill, Christine, and Kimberly.
Right. Okay, perfect, thank you.
Now we're good.
All right. If you want to, if you would just move into properties.
You bet. A little bit longer report on properties. Okay, we elected the board officers for next year, which included a new position for Daryl with the title as Operations Manager.
And I heard there was a big increase in pay too.
Yeah,
He got
and the hours get shorter.
a big raise.
A signing bonus as well.
Oh, I like it. It's the check's in the mail, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
we have an
luck with
update on 790 C Street. That'll become vacant July 1. The board approved up to $5,000 to repair once it's vacant, to do things that need to be done and to bring it up to where we really are talking about getting rent that's comparable to to market. We expect it to probably be at about $2,100 a month. So that's a about
Wow.
doubling of the rent. On the 1090 Big Bend Ranch, should record that deed early in July, not as early as the 2nd, with the sign off of Adam Brake, who's with the Life Estate. And then we'll have the payoff of the line of credit. 380 East is not 11th Street. That's a little bit bleak. We have some serious tenant issues there. The tenant really, she's there with her son, who is also in need of help. And really the feeling is that she probably should be in assisted living. So Uber is willing to help on that effort. The home is kind of a mess, and it had a major sewer line issue and needed to be flushed, but there was no damage to the line itself. So if it ever were to become vacant, Uber really feels that it could be spruced up, repaired, painted, cleaned up, and it would be able to double the rent there as well. So we'll have to follow that one closely. We continue, the feeling is of the board that we need to continue to sell at least one lot to support the LRCP cash flow. We have it in our bylaws to consider a financial contribution annual to the LRCF, and we've decided that we cannot make a contribution in the current year, so there will be none for 2021. And also with the bylaw change, the Rotary Club can now appoint a board member to the board for the new year of 2022. So that'll be great.
Is there anything in your bylaws that says that during the year you guys could decide to donate something to the club? To the club foundation?
No, the bylaws say that by the end of the year, we need to make that determination. We certainly can do it during the year. If we were to sell a lot and raise, say, 150,000, which is in the budget for next year, we'd be in a financial position to, improve our properties as well as make a contribution to the foundation.
So you could in the middle of the year make a contribution to the foundation.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Nice to hear.
No, that's kind of in the plan, as it were.
Yeah, I know it was. It's just a matter, I wasn't sure if you were saying that it only could be done at the end of the year.
No, we need to do it by the end of the year.
It's no later than the end of the year.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think another thing that's important for this board is the new board of directors for the LRC properties has to have a member which is appointed by this board as an ex officio member on the LRC properties board.
Right.
So I've changed the structure. So actually the way the bylaws are written, there are the 5 officers, right? President-elect, secretary, treasurer, and then I have the 7 that are appointed by me. And one of them is John. So he is going to be serving actually as a board member.
Oh, he is already on the board, and if you appoint him as a board member, we don't have enough board members on the LRC properties. We require 5 members on the board, and the way it's set up now is we have 2 elected board members and three ex officio members. So we need the ex officio member from the club. And my desire was that member should be the chairman of the committee in the club who is working on the club, on the properties. There is a committee that now exists for the properties in the club. But
Okay, I guess there's maybe a little confusion because I've read the bylaws for our club and who's supposed to serve, and so maybe we'll have to have a further conversation. But based on the email you sent me, Art, I removed you from the board And I put John as a board member.
John is already, you can't put him on there twice.
No, well, that was last year's board. This is this year's board. So
This is what board?
board of directors for the club.
For the club. Oh, I don't care about the club. I'm saying we need
Well,
a
but
member,
that's what we're talking about right now.
member from the club who is going to be an ex officio member for properties.
Okay, so.
Okay, well, that's a different conversation.
Yeah,
No, it's the same conversation I had.
All right, so it seems to me you're both talking about two different things, but what
Yeah.
Art is
Talking
asking, so I'm on a committee that we're looking at, and you're well aware of that committee as well, Christine. And
Mhm.
so someone from that committee should be appointed by the club to be on the properties board as an ex officio.
Right, and that's amongst those boards. I think the confusion we're having is we've got so many boards now
Yeah.
that we're mixing apples and oranges. And so there's a difference between the club board and the properties board and the ex officios between these boards. And so we might need to sit down and have a bigger conversation, but
Yeah, I do agree with Art in this, and yeah, I think we can take this offline and figure that out and, you know, put someone on. But
yeah, it's easily solvable.
Someone from your board that's on that board as a representative of the club.
Or a member on the club committee that's dealing with properties.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Board member from hers.
and I would even expand it to say, and or a member of the club. I mean, I don't know that. It has to be-
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who the club is.
No, just
It'd be a great way to get some of our new members involved and engaged.
exactly, right. So we need,
Maybe the properties committee can make a recommendation to you, Christine.
I would love that. Thank you.
okay,
All right.
we'll do that.
Anything else, John?
That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Richard's not here. Claire, any updates on social?
Just the one for the Potters. I'm guessing that somebody said Chris confirmed that we had that night there at the VIP area. I thought she'd be here today or talking today, but I'll check with her and make sure. If not, I'll confirm it. And then you have to pay the deposit. And it seems like when the women's club did it, they had to pay $600 up front. And then anything after, you know, depending on how many people came, they need to pay more money. So I'll check with her I'll probably see her tonight. I will see her tonight. And then I'll take care of it if she hasn't, and then we can lock it in. But we're planning on the 29th of July for the Potters game and the VIP tent and the VIP area. And I think we're going to gather first or visit your place first, Christine. Is that right or not?
Yeah, no, I'll have my house open from 4 to 6. We'll
Okay.
have cocktails. You can park, get early parking, and then walk across the street to the game.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. And then the only other thing on Claire's plate is food for our meetings. And it looks like we have Country Harvest set up for July 1st. So that'll be good.
Yep. And then we're working on Mexican, and I asked Christine the other night, everybody wants Becky to do one day a month. And so I'm gonna check with her and see if that'll work with her license or whatever it is she has. And so we'll take it from there. But anyway,
We'll make it work.
everybody's set. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, so we're good.
Okay,
Good.
thank you, Claire.
Even if y'all have to sign a waiver when you come in the door, we'll make
Right.
it.
Sounds good to me. The next thing I have is the emergency council. Christine, you mentioned we should probably just remove it now.
Yeah, nothing at this point. I mean, we're kind of going out of COVID. The good news is that we originally thought we were gonna get 9 million out of the funding. We're actually looking at about 11.5 million. So we're gonna be having a lot of community conversations about where those funds get spent. So stay tuned.
Right, right.
Good.
That's good news.
Just means our taxes all go up, but you know,
Yeah.
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 There.
but we have money to spend, so that's good.
All right. Okay. In old business, we had two things that are
I apologize about my dog, by the way.
no worries. Mine keeps knocking at the door and I let her in and knocks to go out. Really, the benevolent fund, we've continued to hold off on that, not really do anything. I don't
I'll
know.
pick it up. Well,
Oh, okay.
I got some ideas.
All right. Sponsorships and this, I'm going to continue to work with Jerry on some thoughts that he has. And then Clark's still not here because he was going to give us an update on the all Paul Harris Club drive that he's working on. And I think most people here are aware of that. So he's working on getting that updated.
I think he had almost everybody but one person sign off on donating their points towards
Yes. Yeah, that's what he was saying last night. He's got one more person to sign off to be able to finalize everything there. And the other thing in old business, we've already discussed earlier, Christine, Father Bill, we're just going to write off what's out there, remove him from the rolls. We're giving one more, in essence, one more crack at trying to work through with Anna and Karen so that we can get that cleared up in time to have Club Runner updated for the 1st of July. Okay. New business. So really, I was gonna, at this point, hand things over to Christine so that she can discuss, I know you wanted to touch on your budgets for one, and then probably the other topic with DEI.
Right. So I circulated a draft budget that was prepared by Graziella. I don't think it's critical necessarily that we adopt it tonight. We can definitely do it at our next board meeting. But I wanted you to all make sure you saw it in your inbox and took a look at it. You know, it's a work in progress. You know, we try to base budgets on previous year's expenditures and income, and the previous year is obviously not necessarily a great baseline, but we also don't know what we're gonna do fundraising wise going forward. So take a look at it, and if you can get me your feedback, and since Graziella is not here, I'm not necessarily comfortable moving forward on a motion for that budget anyway. So because she's the one who's the genius behind the numbers, and so we'll make sure that she's here when we address that issue. She'll be back from Sweden and have all of our chocolate for us, so we'll all be good.
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Sweden,
Don't
Switzerland.
say
One of those
Sweden
Swiss
there.
countries, right? Right.
maybe
All
two.
right.
So I have another
So,
question. When you say it, is that the club budget? And there's also generally a foundation budget that is, has to be prepared and approved by the club.
yes, I'm not the president of the foundation, so I'm talking about the club budget. So, yeah.
Club committees are for service, international,
Nice out there.
everyone are the ones who come up with how much you're gonna bring in, how much you're gonna spend.
Okay.
And it's approved then by the foundation board.
Perfect. Well, so you're talking, so,
Foundation says the club is responsible for all that.
So Christine, I did, Graziella did sort of I don't know if you were involved in that, but she threw something out like about a month ago. I walked through it with her in terms of what I thought. And so you and I and Graziella can work through that.
okay,
And
perfect.
I think
So-
we have some pretty good handles on it.
Perfect. And so maybe that's our main agenda item next month at our board meeting. We get that done.
Sounds good.
Okay. Great. So the only other real issue I have, well, I mean, I want to say everybody, thank you so much for last night's fun party. I think we all had a good time roasting Brian and you know, installing me. I appreciate all of your declarations of support. I think it's been a fun year. I look forward to being your leader and opening channels of conversation and discussion. And I think we've, you know, as we move into this year, coming out of COVID and all of that, we got a lot of exciting challenges. We got a lot of exciting ways to think about new ways that we do what we do as Rotarians. So I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I am sad to report that we have lost a member. Stan Nader has submitted his resignation. And that was directly related to his position on the diversity, equity and inclusion project. And I think you all saw my email and where I stand on that. And, you know, it is a project of RI. It's a project that's been adopted by our district. And we've had 4 or 5 members come forward and express an interest in forming that committee. And so it is not my leadership style in this environment to succumb to demands that, you know, I disband a committee that's authorized by Rotary International. And so I sent out the message that I did. I am sad that Mr. Nader has decided that he would prefer to not be a member of Rotary than to be a member of the good works that our club does. But that is what it is. And that's where we are. And we're open. I'm working with the DEI community committee, Barbara, you and Clark, Joanne, and we're going to try to set up some kind of across the table communication, maybe using some of our members of Braver Angels that have been trained in this type of what I'll call mediation conversation, so that we can try to assuage the concerns of those members that perhaps have political feelings about DEI that are maybe warranted, not warranted, and we'll work through it and we'll figure it out and we'll discover a path forward. So that's kind of where we are. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to our meeting on July 1st. We're going to be in person. We're going to have meals. It's going to be a fun meeting. Our speaker is Mr. Andrari with the Chamber of Commerce. He's going to be talking about 4th of July celebration. So it'll be very informative. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions or have a conversation about whatever you want to conversate about.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I think some renewed energy, and I'm very much looking forward to being part of your board and your club this year.
Thanks, Brian.
The younger members and prospective members there last night, delightful.
Right? I'm
Yeah,
super excited.
Yeah.
I was hoping Clark was going to be on the line, because that's one of the things I'm excited about too, is we've got our first 2 memberships that are going to come online in my presidency are both corporate memberships. And so we're going to have the city that already has 3, that already brings our median age down like a lot. And then the Lincoln Life Church,
Yes.
I'm not sure what that is, what LCLC, whatever it is, but they're going to bring in 5 new members on their corporate membership. And they also are, you know, in their 50s and below. And so I think it's going to be great, because with 1 membership, you get we're going to have 2 memberships, formal memberships come in, and we're going to have technically 8 new members, which means if we engage them in the way that we're hoping to engage them through our membership, that's going to mean that want our bodies to show up for fundraising events, to show up at the salt mine, to show up at all these events where we need hands on deck. And they're also corporate organizations that's what we do. We do community service. That's what the city's all about. We're here to serve the public. That's what this church is all about. It's here to serve the public. And so it's already in their wheelhouse. And you also saw Dre Bravo. She's super excited. Now, I don't know whether they're going to modulate their membership into a corporate membership or fund her to be an individual member, but either way, I think it's all good. We're bringing,
she's excited.
yeah, we're bringing young blood, excited blood, people that want to connect with our community, and they appreciate the value of Rotary and the connections that they can make and the contributions that they can make through this organization. So I think it's a really great turn of events.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Looking forward to it.
So I don't know, does Lincoln Mortuary need a corporate membership? I don't know.
We may eventually.
Well, especially with your new promotion, you never know.
Very true. Very true. Let me get some capable hands in my other location.
Well, there you go. There you go.
All right. Anything else? At this point, we'll just a quick go around the horn here and see if anyone
May
has-
I add
Yes,
to,
Barbara. Yeah.
I would, since I do chair that particular DEI committee, I would like to at least speak to what actually has happened under my leadership. The first thing I would do is just applaud you, Christine, for having the courage. Leadership does take courage. And I appreciate that you have handled that quite well. No behind the scenes things, because the situation I have now, I feel like I'm in another club. The DEI had an organizational meeting in May, thanks to both you, Brian, and Christine. I wrote a letter asking for your support, and you gave it positive and prompt. Then I extended an invitation to anyone who wanted to join us. And we had an organizational meeting on May 4th. At that time, it was very important to give everybody an opportunity to define their role in the way and manner in which they wish to work. Everybody that attended was excited, and those meetings and actions were reported, thanks to you, Brian, asking for, first of all, announcing that we existed, all for the club members to hear. And then I applauded the leadership of Clark, who joined us, as well as Joanne. And at that meeting, and these are the members that signed up, was Clark and Joanne, Andrea, Rick, and Jan, and Shante. We had that Zoom meeting and discussion. I'm not going to prolong this, but what I'm trying to say is nothing took place but an open discussion, and there were no hidden agendas. June 14th, because the meeting was so well done, these members in our club were active even in the district under the leadership of Lynette Anderson. The first movie that we saw was My Name is Khan. Clark mentioned it. It was always discussed as an open invitation. Please join us. And that was a discussion, nothing hidden, and everybody was excited, so much so that he brought it to our club on June 14th and did leadership there. That went well. That is the only thing I can think of that was so positive. And then bringing other people, which was my attempt to bring community leaders to join us, and they did, and they're continuing to be supportive. Just heard from Dr. Elizabeth Davis last night asking for a meeting. And also, I'm very pleased to mention that Anne Browning, who you're talking about in terms of her leadership with the Peace Committee for the Festival of Learning, has called me for a meeting. So I will be asking her because she is so skilled and is a great facilitator. But she's asked to meet with me. I will be meeting with her with the plans to ask her to join us in our club. The movie night discussion on soul food took place on June 16th. That went over very well. And what I did like was we're inviting outside people, grooming them hopefully for membership. And some of that is taking place. On June the 22nd, I just joined a zone meeting, districts coming together to talk about our eyes, feelings, and guidance on the DEI best practices. So there's no hidden agenda. I've only been going to meetings to get information to share with the club so that you would grow with us and just become culturally aware and positive and grow us, not distort us. So on Tuesday, the 29th, there will be our next meeting, 7 o'clock. It's a Zoom meeting and it's open discussion to hear each person's feelings about where they want to go. We're going to even talk about doing our own movies, not just going to the supporting district, but also what movies would we want to see. At the zone meeting, I mentioned the success that we had, and it was applauded that the movie night was a nice way because people could at least address their issues without fighting and distorting the things that have taken place that have not taken place. I want you to know that I'm not dissuaded in any way. On Tuesday, I will have an open discussion and we will look at what do we want for next year. That is open, and I will make this statement and I hope it's shared. All of our meetings are open and we invite people to come and participate. No hidden agendas. So I just want you to know I'm not discouraged at all, because it sounds like it's another kind of world and I have had no part in it. And I just want to kind of put that straight, that this has been done open and above board.
Barbara, and I appreciate that statement. And I want everyone on this meeting to know that I spoke to several of the individuals that had sent the emails that precipitated this last night. And, I think a lot of them were shocked to hear that I'm a registered Republican. I voted for Trump. I was the chair of the Santa Barbara County Republican Party for 5 years. And they were, you could tell, kind of put on their heels by that.
Yeah.
And I reassured them that this committee, if it were ever to, in my mind, broach the realm of critical race theory or any of these things that are in the political realm, that I would be the first one to call it out and say that is not Rotary. And that I trust the members of our club that are serving on this committee to report accurately to me and to, be listening, responsible participants, and to honor the spirit of Rotary. And I have no doubt that you will continue to do so. And I applaud your efforts. I think this is a good thing for Rotary. We need our club's face to look more like our community. And that's really what this is about.
Yeah. And we're bringing those people in who knew nothing about Rotary. We've had board of trustees. We're trying to invite colleges. And the thing I'd like to say, I've done this before. So I don't have to do anything behind my record is not to be deceptive. I'm too direct a person to have to hide and concoct things.
Me too. I agree. Good for you.
And I do agree with you. You nipped it in the bud, and that's the way to go. I have no idea what these people are talking about because they have never confronted me in a positive way to join us. And I would think that's what you would do. You would join and have a discussion and get mad at something that's real if you're going to get mad.
Well, and so we are working, we're talking, we're going to try to get people at the table with one of our Braver Angels
Well,
mediators.
that's
Yeah.
who I'm talking about. Ann, who's
Yeah.
in charge and moderated, has called. Here's the thing. At the district meeting, we shared our views and they were all positive about the kinds of things we'd like to do. I asked questions like, well, how many clubs have a DEI relationship? I asked those kind of questions. Ann wrote me and she said, loved hearing your thoughts and everything. Let's get together. Now she's written to me. So that's evidence that you're talking about calling her. She's called me because she wants to work with me. That's
Good.
not negative. So
No,
I will be.
so my
speaking to
my
her.
concern, and I'm
Mhm.
sure you can understand, is I have
Uh-huh.
a couple members that have concerns, and I want to make
Yeah.
sure that we address those concerns, and
Yeah.
I want to be responsive, and I want to make sure that we all have a way to communicate with each other that's respectful and civil and answers questions. And if they're
Absolutely.
not happy with the answers, then they can make an intelligent, informed decision to resign if they want to
Right.
resign. But I hope, I really hope that we don't get there. I really hope that we can work through this as a club and
Yeah.
as a Rotary family.
Well, I'm sure that's why I wanted to just address it. So if anybody thinks I have a concern, this is the time to share with me if if we've done anything to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So thank you very much. I'll be meeting, and let me say this. Our next meeting is an open discussion about where we want to go. So everybody has, some kind of contribution about, let me give you a good example. Instead of, are we always going to go to the district movies? No, let's create our own movies. Let's see, because the movie idea, which I celebrated, was it gives everybody a chance to give their view, not to be challenged like, no, that's not correct. That's your view. I have a view. And that's where we build friendships, etc. And now when Ann, she's coming down, she wants to, and I'm away, I said, when I come back, I'd love to have coffee. So naturally, I'm going to be asking, I was just going to ask her to come and speak, but now we'll ask her to really participate since she has been highly recommended and she did a fabulous job, for the district. But that's the way I operate. I like to be resourceful. I share my resources and I have no hesitation in speaking my mind, not shy. So,
Well, I think we're all grown-up Rotarians in the room,
Yeah,
and I appreciate that, Barbara.
yeah,
Anybody else have any comments on the subject? I don't want to
yeah,
forestall. I think we're all headed in the right direction.
yes,
I
yeah,
hope that I'm shepherding this in the right direction. I mean, I come to it from a perspective of having been a president of a club before, and I
mhm,
know we're all different and we all have our
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ideas and thoughts on how we should move forward. But I think as a family, we all eventually got to sit around the table and talk about it. We either agree to disagree or we
Mhm.
figure it out. So I'm looking forward to that. And so you'll be hearing
And I
more
hope,
about
will
that.
you join us on Tuesday, or is that possible?
No, I will. You need to
Yeah.
send me the information,
Oh, yeah, Clark sends out the Zoom.
the Zoom. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
okay, and thank you
And-
so much, for
Yep,
your
well-
leadership. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm here to be team Rotary, right?
Yeah.
I'm all about supporting this organization, whether it's on a local, district, or international level. And
Mhm, mhm.
I believe in it.
There's a lot of positive things happening, so that's where we're headed. We got new.
And that's-
Oh my gosh, yes, I would not be in this club if I didn't see the positive. I mean, it's not anything one has to do. I've been in Rotary since 1990, the Rotary's first female president. So I've been through the pushing around but working myself through it to grow us in the district. So I really come with a passion about Rotary.
Right.
But I will not let anybody drag us with my name on it to a negative view.
Well, so I think that was kind of the point of my email that I sent is,
Yeah.
Rotary It's over 100 years old. We've been through some growing pains, right?
Yeah.
We've been here, we've done that, we've got through it. We're bigger, better, and stronger because of
I
it.
think
So
so.
I
Yeah.
think we'll be there again. So
Well said, well said, Kathy.
Yeah, I think you've done a great job of speaking truth to power.
all right. Well, I don't know. Anything else? Anybody? I don't have anything else. We will definitely, Art, thank you for bringing up the foundation budget. I was not aware that that was a responsibility of mine, but we will definitely get on it. And we'll have that on the agenda for next month so that we can get that taken care of. In the meantime, I will hopefully try to get one circulated to the board so that you have something to review in advance. So it's not like, hi, here's the budget, let's approve it. You can actually have some thoughtful time to look over it. But
That's good.
other than that, does anybody have any questions for me or things that I should be doing better in my
That-
one day as president?
That phone call was from the Rec, Parks and Rec, and we have the 25th of February set for,
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
great,
so it's a Friday night. Anyway, that's why I took the call. So,
great.
Okay, so that's at the McBean Pavilion.
yeah, for right now. And then I'm still waiting
Right
for
now,
St.
we've got
Joseph's.
McBean
Yeah,
Pavilion at least
yeah.
secured, and if we find a
right,
different, better spot, we'll
right.
we'll do that.
We're
Great.
good. Yeah.
Good. All right, well, at least we have one
Thank you
place
very
locked
much,
down, so
Claire.
we're good to go.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right, guys.
And
Well, with that, if there's nothing else, I will adjourn the meeting. Thanks, guys. We will continue unless I hear from you guys otherwise to have our board meetings on the fourth Thursday at 4 o'clock. It seems like Zoom works
Yes.
well. Is that good for everybody? I mean,
Good.
we can, okay. I think it's probably best because that way, if you're on vacation or you're traveling or whatever, you
Yeah.
can still
I'm still
jump in
joining.
and join the meeting and we don't have to worry about a quorum, so.
Well,
All
it
right.
works for me. Otherwise, I'm in Delaware, so I wouldn't be able to be with you. It's 8:22 here.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, well, that's what I love about it. If I can remember what zone I'm in.
Right, for sure.
Be able to share a screen.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a lot of stuff up today, but we couldn't see anything. You know, and when you're bringing things for discussion, it's nice to bring up the agenda. And then, you know, like we talked about the finances and things like that. And we didn't have anything in front of us.
Nope. And I said I didn't know how to do it. And that was,
Yeah,
know.
Clark couldn't be here, so that just is what it is, Art.
we'll just have to
We're
get
we're
back
not
up.
all, we're all not as smart as Clark, so.
Well,
Just where we are.
and Clark was gonna join us and he just,
He was, I'm sure
Yeah.
he just got
Hmm.
distracted.
He texted a little bit ago and said he wasn't gonna make it. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good,
Okay.
good meeting.
All right, thanks, everybody.
you.
Very
We'll-
good.
We'll see you
Bye-bye.
next Thursday.
Sounds
Bye.
good.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
all right.